Since I moved into my studio at the beginning of this year, many of you have asked me to do a room tour for it. So for this week's studio vlog, I thought I would do said room tour. I'm going to do the usual disclaimer that I do for my craft room tour every year, which is a different room for those of you who don't know, that I don't do picture perfect rooms. I have a mishmash of furniture. The room is actually painted, so that's a success. But other than that, it's not those perfect studios that you see out there on YouTube. So if you are expecting that, that's not what this is going to be. But other than that, I'm just going to jump straight into the tour. I love this room. I hope you like looking at it. And yeah, thanks for watching. Let's get going. So those of you who have seen my previous craft room tours will be familiar with this site. This in here is my craft room. And then we go next door into my studio. Now it looks bigger, but it's actually the same size. This house was originally built to be bed sits. So this was originally one big room. But before we moved in, this fake wall was put in. Yeah, it was just one huge room divided into two. I think they are 8 by 14 foot rooms, but I could be wrong on that. It also has a broken window, which is why there is part of an easel propping it up because the sash went, so we need that easel, otherwise it just drops all the way down and then gets very cold in here. And I don't have curtains or blinds or anything just because we don't get the best lighting in these rooms, just only first thing in the morning when the sun comes in. And it's just, I'm so high up that I'm not worried about people being able to see me. So I don't bother, I don't need them. So just backing up a bit, I'll show you what you see as you walk in. Down here is a paper recycling bag. So I did used to have just one little bin to put paper in and take it downstairs, put it in the paper recycling, but I fill these up so quickly that I just have the whole bag here. This first little section is like my desk and work area. So I have a little fake Kallax here. It was from Bunnings, which is now closed down in the UK, but you can get things just like it all over the place. As you can see, my silhouette machine lives on top, and I generally keep this area empty so I can pull the silhouette out to use it. Down in the first little space is a bit of a catch-all. That box there is just filled with envelopes. I have a notebook there where I just was traveler's notebook, where I just jot random things in there, notes to self. And also you can see here silhouette mats all over the place. And then this drawer isn't really studio related, it's more craft room related. Oh, that's not very good lighting, but these are all spare crafting things that I love. Hang on, I'm going to turn another light on. That is mildly better. So yeah, it's all spare crafting things, paper pads and stuff that I love so much. I bought 2 of them, thickers that I use loads of, sticker books that I've used loads of, all just spare crafting supplies. Again, it's more appropriate for the craft room, but I don't have the space in there for that. My computer desk is the old IKEA Adils Linmon tables. There are 3 of those in this room. If I just scoot forward a little bit on my chair, I've got a light up there in the corner. I've got this sort of desk shelf standy thing just for extra storage space. Nothing really interesting on here, like some wires and cables and Tic Tacs, external hard drives, my little desk calendar thing, a spare computer mouse back there, some drawers that have cables and other such things in there, and just some cute bits and bobs up there, memorabilia and whatnot. As you can see, my iMac is on a little stand, so it's up at eye height for me, so you know, better for your back sort of thing when you're looking at it all the time. My screensaver changes every hour, so if you're wondering, that's a bit of a weird screensaver, that's, yeah, as I said, it changes every hour. I have some handy bits on that little stand as well, some mini scissors, some washi tape if I need to stick things to a silhouette mat sometimes. There's a car alarm going off somewhere. A little trinket tray here. I love little trinket trays, by the way, so you will just see them all over the place in this room and when I do the craft room tour as well. Random bits in there, spare silhouette blade, glasses, which I'm terrible at remembering to wear. This trinket tray is all bits of die cuts and ephemera that have not cut perfectly, so they're like the die cut equivalent of seconds or something. It's just a big pile of them. Or it's when like I've die cut an entire sheet and some of them are fine, like this one, but it can't do the whole sheet because some bits have gone wrong, so I just have loads of spares there. A little rose in a vase because we got flowers and I kept one to have up here. So yeah, that's real, won't last much longer. Some hand cream for I have dry hands. Hair clips because I'm a girl with long hair and we have hair clips all over the place. I have this really big mouse mat, desk mat thing which I got from eBay. Under there I have like a little pad to write myself notes and lists, and then underneath some ones that I really need to go through and probably throw away some of those. We have a pen there, a little desk fan which probably won't get used for a while now that it's getting to winter, but was very useful in the summer. Little notepad from Kiki K, and just some pens and scissors and stuff handy to have at one's desk. That is from the range, I think, that little pot. And then just some water in a skull mug because I get thirsty. Then spinning around is my big desk. So obviously this is my computer desk and this is my other desk. This is where I do designs. Most, you know, when I do artwork for all my designs that go into my shop, this is where they happen. I have all the handy things I need for that. This was a birthday present last year. It is a early Victorian roll top desk. So this bit here comes down. So, you know, it's all closed up if you want it to be. Never, not that I actually ever do that. And you pull it open and this bit comes out like so, and then also this bit comes up. You can see how old it is because this leather is falling to pieces, but random scrap of paper, random receipt, that is what is my life. Anyway, yeah, this here lifts up. There's a little stand to put it down there, and you can have it up like that to do painting or whatever. So I'll just push this back in for now and we'll start up at the top. This up here is a Lord of the Rings display case that I bought on the Facebook Marketplace. I was using it to display all my Tolkien memorabilia, like jewellery and stuff, but I decided to then use it for all my fountain pen ink. So just in case you're interested, ink up there, then all my diamine ink there, and then others down there, and sample inks on there. I'll just stand up to make it mildly easier for you. What else have we got here? So all of this is stuff I use for creating designs. I've got all my Copic markers back there, polychromos pencils, watercolours, some other pencils which I had before I had the polychromos, so I don't actually use those anymore. Then brushes, charcoal pencils, Pigma microns, Copic multi-liners, white gel pens to do highlights, all handy bits and pieces like that. Little mini spray bottle here as well when I'm doing watercolours. There's a pen that's fallen out of the pot. And some candles, a little extra light here that can obviously go over the desk when I'm working on it. This, in case you're wondering, what this is, one of those ear bulb syringe things which I actually use to clean out fountain pens. It is not for medical use. I clean out fountain pens with it. I have my work or desk planner here, all of my ink samples and a couple of candles. Then down on the main desk itself, you can see there's some cute little drawers and cubbies and stuff, which is the kind of thing that makes me very, very happy. Top drawer just has these little bags which I put my ephemera in for my shop. This has all the samples that I have ready. I put them in this little I think my phone case came in this, and I thought that's kind of a handy little something. So shop samplers that go out with every order. Bottom just has some painkillers, USBs, random, yeah, just one of those drawers. And down under there is just some notebooks and receipts and papers that I need to deal with and haven't yet. Here I keep all my currently printed ephemera backing, so that's what goes in those little baggies with all the ephemera, so those are ready to go when I need them. I have some stickers ready to go. I'm not a ready to ship sticker shop, so I only have like a handful done at one time. All the Christmas ones are there. I've got my just random ones there, stationery collection there, and a postcard. I don't know why that's there. And then all the oops ones go here. So I have my oops bags. I've got only two at the moment because they do tend to go quite quickly, and then any ones to go in future bags ready underneath. Then in these little drawers, this top one needs to be sorted really because I did keep all of my wax seal stamps in here, but I've recently rearranged my wax seal stamp situation, so these are like the ones I don't use that often, so this drawer needs a better use, really. This one has cheap watercolors in, which to be honest I really should just get rid of, because I don't, apart from these Prima ones here and like this big tube of white, I don't use these, so it's really a waste of space there. And there's the key for the desk. And in the bottom one there is more wax seal stuff, some matches, and then lots of sealing beads and some of the sticks as well, which I don't actually use anymore, but I might as well keep like for my own personal use or whatever. And then just like at the other side there's like a watercolor pad and a notepad and blah blah blah. The drawers really are not interesting at all. This top drawer has some wipes for cleaning up, some cat treats to get the cat off my desk, and then these are all the originals of like all my designs and stuff, so all the originals are living there for want of a better space to put them in. This middle drawer is very boring. I have postage receipts there, and then a notebook there, and then this little case, I won't open it because it's fountain pen related. It has like cleaning equipment, said that weird, like little sample bottles if I want to send ink samples to people, like, and the syringes to do that, and spare cartridge converters and all fountain pen related stuff. And then this one down here is a bit of a wasted drawer at the moment. Spare silhouette plug, or no wait, oh, it's the American plug, which I have no use for whatsoever. And these are a load of old birthday cards for me to do something with at some point. Oh, and there's some spare storagey bits in here, like these little plastic wallets I use for storing ephemera, but again, not very well used. On the other side, top drawer has office stationery sort of supplies, little stickers, hole punch, stapler, another hole punch, which I bought this one to replace this one because this one doesn't have a bottom, so I should probably just throw it away. Paper clips, sticky notes, that sort of thing. All this middle drawer has is my oh, I'm totally blanking on what it's called, like the light up drawing thing. Yes, drawing light up thing. Don't know why I'm blanking on that. And there's some vinyl and stuff in there. Scooting along a bit, we have my sort of printer station. Down there is like folders. Some of them are like work related to my other work that's not related to this studio, but it's just handy to keep it there. All my ink ready to go, ink to recycle, or ink cartridges to recycle. I have a couple of printers. This is my main printer that I use for like shop stuff and printing stickers and ephemera and stuff. And then I have another printer down here which I use for printing receipts and boring businessy things, because it's just a waste to use that for that kind of thing. Paper trays here. It's basically cheap 80 GSM paper down the bottom, which I've actually found is best for doing tea dyeing, so I buy it for that. Then 100 GSM paper, which I use all the time for everything. It's by Navigator. I love it. And then at the top is photo paper. There's some 120 GSM paper, some sticker paper, which I bought and was horrible quality and got a refund on, but just still have it. I said printer there. This one here has cardstock and sticker paper, so there's a sticker paper there. Someone asked me about the brand I used recently. It's, I'll pull it out, this one, Evergreen Goods, whatever that is. And then white cardstock and black cardstock. And then up here, as you can see, is my big trimmer, which I use to trim down papers to bind into books and all of my trimming needs that are like not craft related. Like I don't use this for craft room related stuff. Just a little confession time. Kind of messed up the wall a little bit with this. Whoopsie. The walls, by the way, are painted in my favourite mint green colour, which isn't actually showing up that well on camera. You can't really see the proper colour of it. But 2 walls are painted that colour and the other 2 are painted white. It was supposed to be just this wall painted mint green, but then I kept splashing bits of mint green onto that wall, so just sort of, yeah, okay, we'll paint this one mint as well. Next to that, I have some chipboard and grey board and stuff. Very boring. And then this unit here, this is probably an antique. Oh, look, there's me. Hello. This has lots of old books and shop stock and stuff in. It tends, that door is broken and it opens on itself, which is why there's a little table is there because you move it and the doors magically open by themselves. So in here, very quickly, we have stuff for my junk journal kits. There's some like little card things there. Washi tape for the kits. Slim washi tape, which I don't put in my kits, but I put as like little extra thank yous in larger orders. And it's all just lots and lots of vintage and antique books for hacking up for junk journals and junk journal kits. Those are all kind of random. These are all music ones. Got vintage maps down there, little vintage leaflets and stuff down there, and then older and bigger books are all down there. I actually have way more, but I store them elsewhere because I don't have enough room to store all of the ones I have. So these are just like the ones I'm using at this particular time. Also in here, these two little Tupperware containers are full of dried flowers. I'll just open up one so you can see. There we go. So lots of dried flowers, dried and pressed flowers for putting in junk journal kits. Then this is this was a beauty gift set that had drawers. You'll see the drawers elsewhere, which I've put on its side and used to keep shop stock and stuff, which I put in both my junk journal kits and in the journals themselves. There's more stock up here, a little bit there, and a few little extra small little things for junk journaling. Look at that, isn't that cute? Yeah, a few more little books there. So that is what is in that cupboard. On the top here, I've just forgotten, there is a shelf up there with like some bits and pieces on. The reason only half of it has stuff on is because we put the desk there before I put stuff on the shelf. So I was able to put stuff on that side by standing on a chair down there, but haven't been able to put stuff on the other side. Yep, that's the reason. But yes, on the top here, there is a box full of partially hacked up books and stuff, again for kits and junk journals and stuff, or wooden Game of Thrones box, which was a present. Game of Thrones letter opener swords, which are just like one of those memorabilia things. Then I have, one's for cleaning, but these are all napkins for kits and stuff for doing decoupage, lots of pretty things there. Kitchen towel or paper towels just for cleaning, and as you saw, I like preserve the pressed flowers in there. Then these are just like some bigger things to hack up for junk journaling, but I can't really fit them in here because they're so big. So this is some vintage graph paper, and the other two are vintage ledger, and one's got like graphs and stuff in. This I haven't done anything with, this cute little miniature filing cabinet on which the time is completely wrong, by the way. I haven't figured out how to change it. I just think it is the cutest thing. Like you could put like little business cards in it or something, but I'll do something with it one day. Then moving along a little bit more, we've got an IKEA Kallax, and this is all stuff mostly, again, for junk journals and junk journal kits. Up at the top there is a load of boxes where I've received something like an order or whatever, so I use those for sending out stuff if it's like non-shop related. Up here, these are all antique folio pieces. I'll just get one as an example. Here we go. Antique folio pieces. This one I think is from 1795, but I could be wrong. So most of these are all 1790 something, so they are super old. There's one here, that one I think is from 1870 or something. So yeah, lots of old stuff. So when I say something is antique in the shop, I really mean it. Then all the pre-removed book pages and stuff are stored here. This little one here has like book covers and stuff, so there's like simple dust jacket type things, as well as proper like hardback book covers that obviously I will turn into journals at some point. Just a little reed diffuser, because sometimes they can be a little bit musty smelling, so that just helps get rid of that smell. Then in these 3 cubes, you can see I have these magazine files. They're all IKEA ones, and these are kind of vaguely organized. So this one has like all music paper. That has some really big music paper that won't fit in there. This is all maps. Looks like I need to do some more map cutting up. These are all floral, but like black and white florally ones, or talking about flowers, botanical stuff. And this one is all like proper botanical, pretty drawings and things in there. And then if they are single pages, so I know I can't really bind them into a book, I just put them next to them. Then moving down to the next 2 cubes, these are like super special things. Like there's this. Someone had a German language book, like they were teaching themselves German. It's from 1937, so these are like the super special pages, and some more there. All of these ones are foreign language. I've got some Czech, I've got some Polish, I've got some French, I've got all sorts in there. These are kind of general in that they're just from fiction books or whatever. I've got Life of Dr. Johnson, which is obviously non-fiction, but anyway, Aesop's Fables. This is like graphs and charts and stuff. There's a Cantonese learning book, some train timetables or something. And then next to that, again, it's all the single pages, so I know these are the ones I can't bind into books. Some more mappy, graphy sort of things in here. This one has one of my favourite books ever. There is, I keep recipes in here, and then this book from the 60s, like that was a beauty book for women in the 50s or 60s, and some of it is just hilarious. Vintage ledger and some music paper in there, and then comics, vintage comics in there. And you can just see tucked back there are some things my mum's given me for the shop, but I can't bring myself to cut them up. Like this thing here is like the most beautiful atlas of all these maps and stuff that fold out, and I'm not emotionally ready to cut it up because it's just, oh, it's too much. Then the bottom 4 cubes, as you can see, all have the little droner boxes. This one is full of scraps that I use to make pockets for the journals and just decorate things with. So if a scrap is big enough to be worth keeping, it goes in there. This one is all sort of special things, special cover pages, things that are like for my kits. Yeah, the more unique and special things. There's like a little family tree there, some vintage card packets. There's some old, super old newspapers, lots of cool stuff in there. Down in this one, this is quite heavy, this one, but there are some very old magazines and comics ready to be cut up at some point when I need them. And this bottom one has lots of fabric in, some old sari fabrics and net and stuff, just lots of fun things in there. Large pieces of chipboard and grey board for if I need to make a spine for a junk journal, or if I just need to make it, cut it, you know, if I'm not using an old book cover and I'm just making the cover. That's what that is. The random roll of adhesive material there. Under this little table, okay, this little table, this was just in this room. This used to be a junk room, and it's actually like an antique card table. So if you can see here, there's a little hinge. This actually folds out, and it's got like velvet, and it's for playing cards on. But I needed a table for my sewing machine, so it's just here for now until I find something else to use. But underneath it is a bit of a mess, if I'm honest. There's like a little box there which is like future swap stuff if I go to a meet or whatever and want to put stuff on the swap table. That's down there. I've got wrapping paper, I've got my silhouette box, some random electric tea lights. That box is full of pre-made cards, so if I need a card for someone and I don't have time to make it specially, I have lots of pre-made ones there, and also friends and family if they need a card, I'm like, just go and look in the box and take whatever you need. And yeah, on the table itself, sewing machine. It's quite old. My mum gave it to me. It was hers. Another little trinket tray. I don't know if you've seen these ones, but these are skulls, because I love skulls. My sister bought me these. So spare threads and stuff, and lots of little binder clips to keep things together when you are sewing them. That box has bobbins and other sewing related stuff on, and then that's a pile of papers and stuff that I want to use for my own personal journaling. Like, for example, I was cutting up a map page and came across a map of where I lived, and I was, you know, obviously I needed to keep that to use for me. So just things like that I come across and might have something personally to do with me, I will put it aside for my own personal use. I do need some more decoration and stuff in this room, but at the moment I just have here on that little knobble that's just like naturally in the wall, this thing that I made. It was a Thompson's design team project, and it's one of my favourite things I've ever made, and it's got some quotes on it that are like vaguely relevant, like No one ever made a difference by being like everybody else. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. And it's my favourite colour. And yeah, I just like it a lot. Then turning around to here, let me back up enough. I'm being lazy and sitting down, but anyways, I have 2 chairs in here. I have my desk chair and a little wooden chair that I'm sitting on at the moment, which I think the one I'm sitting on at the moment, I'll show you in a bit. I think it's like an IKEA kids one, but anywho, so this is like my main workstation. This is where I pack orders. This is where I make journals. This is where I do all of the things. It is 2 IKEA Adils Linmon tables just put together. Briefly, I will show you underneath. There's that box there. That usually houses all my Christmas craft supplies, but as we're at the Christmas season, they are all in my craft room, so I'm using it at the moment to put Christmas presents in before I wrap them. This little drawer unit is an IKEA Lennart, I think. There's papers up there to use for making journals and all that sort of thing. In here, spare packing supplies. In there, this one is more packing supplies. When I'm cutting up paper and vellum and stuff, when I get a long piece like this, I actually use it to wrap around orders and stuff, just to looks really pretty. If people buy really like the large journals from me, I try and personalize them with their initial with these little metal discs. And bottom one has lots of little baggies for orders, and I've also got these really cool bags that I'm going to use one day for special journals, but this one I just can't bear to get rid of it. Look, it's like a vintage post office bag. Look at that. Anyway, I just thought that was cool and I would show it to you. Next to that are paper pads for, again, journals and stuff. Then I've got bubble wrap and packing supplies, envelopes and stuff. I don't tend to use bubble wrap in my orders because I'm trying to be as environmentally conscious as I can be. So all the bubble wrap I have is secondhand, so it's only stuff that I've received. I don't actually buy it for shop use, and I don't need to use it that often as it is. Then all the different size boxes. Sorry about the full bin, but that's the way it is. So a big box of A5 size large letter boxes, and various different sizes. There's my biggest ones. I really need to order some more of those. Yeah, various different boxes. Coming up to the top of the table, if I just do a general sweep like so, I've got some little boxes and stuff there. When I showed you that thing in the cupboard that had, I said I was keeping shop stock in, it was a beauty box. Those are the shelves that originally lived in that box. So this little thing, this is from the range. This has all my vintage and antique postcards and birthday cards and some other little cute bits and pieces like this. And I kind of divide them by from here to, where is it? Here, these are all ones that have been written by someone. I have some dating as old as like 1908 and stuff. They're so cool. The rest of them are all vintage and antique. Oh, there's some old note cards. After that, they're all vintage and antique, but they haven't been written on. And then some vintage birthday cards. This one has vintage photographs in, quite a few of those. There's some in here which, like, every time I go to pick them up to put them in the kit, I just, like, this one is obviously from World War II after a bombing in London, and I just, it's a piece of history, you know. So there's also some more books that have been partially hacked up just to keep the photos nice and propped up and straight and so they don't bend. In this one here, I've got packing stuff, so little baggies that I put stickers in, that sort of stuff, various different colours of those, and also some hardback stuff. Just occasionally I get requests, like I had an order recently from Israel, and she asked that I like pack it really carefully because she said post in her country can get like a bit thrown about. I can't remember her exact words, but she was just like, please can you like put an extra hard thing in it. So that's for that sort of situation. This little one has some chipboard pieces, like leftovers where I've made spines for books, and some more. Oh, I have playing cards that I'll show you in a bit, but that's just like spare because they didn't put it in the playing card storage. These are all pre-made pockets for journals that I've sewn, or are, no, that one's not sewn. Here's one. So yeah, I've stitched those to be pockets for junk journals, but then not needed them for that particular journal, so I've just kept them. tripod there just for filming my studio vlogs. It is the cheapest tripod on Amazon. I've had it for years and years and years. Okay, sorry, my sister rang and I've been on the phone to her for an hour. I can't remember where we were. I think we've done all of this. So this little pot is from the range and it has bookbinding stuff and twine and binder clips and that sort of thing. This little tray, again, from the range. This is all like super special vintage ephemera and like some stuff I've put aside to turn into printables and things like that. So that's all just ready there for me to do stuff with, or like some are like personal bits that I might keep for myself. And you know, next to that is another one of those skull trinket trays and it has some pins and needles, binder clip. This is a plant pot which has various things in: glue, ruler, craft knives, Stanley blades, just all things that I use on this table. These don't generally live here, but these are some book covers that I've just got out here because I'm going to make those into junk journals over the coming weeks, so they're kind of there to remind me to do that. And we've got all sorts of little bits and pieces here. I've got like some Christmassy sequins which I put like in the packaging for Christmas stickers and stuff, Halloween sequins for the same purpose. This little itty bitty bucket just has a little USA flag here, a little sort of vintagey one which I found recently, and I've just kept it aside for any orders that might go to America. It's little confetti pieces that go in packaging just to make things pretty. Just a circle punch there, another trinket tray with some washi in for packaging, another binder clip. That is where a candle oopsie happened. The less said about that, the better. This little shelfy thing here is two IKEA, I don't know how to say it, Veria. I've got another one here. That is the name of it. So it's two of those just, you know, on top of each other. Up here, two little trays which have stickers in. They're like divided into like botanically florally ones and then more like traditional vintagey looking ones. On this shelf I have this little basket here which was from Primark, and it has all my vintage playing cards in which go in kits and stuff. I've got my little wax melting stove pot here which I get asked about all the time. They're easy to find, just search wax melting pot or something along those lines. They are all over the place. I can link the one I have if anyone is interested, but yeah, they're all pretty much the same. A lighter for obviously lighting said candle. Then this little tape dispenser thing with pretty washi tape for packaging, and then this little sort of retro storage thing has all the sealing wax beady things and the seals that I like to use for packaging. This, which usually lives over in this corner, I get asked about this as well. This is like a book binding cradle, I think it's called. It's got a little brand something on there which isn't focusing. I'll try and link it if I can, but obviously you can put your pages in there and just bind straight in the middle, which makes life so much easier. Cutting mat here for obvious reasons, and then this one has just all sorts of random faux, generally faux, this is genuine vintage, but just like faux vintage stickers and ephemera bits and pieces which are for the kits. These two are mostly packaging related, so I have like my thank you stickers, return address stickers or brand stickers there, some hardback envelopes, some general label stickers, just a little glue mouse thing, these little cards and stickers which go in all of my creative journals just like as a little extra. This one has the old Royal Mail sizing guide thing, some tape, some twine, lots of different types of envelopes like glassine bags, vellum envelopes. Those are all like for kits and stuff. Sellotape dispenser. This is actually a doorstop, but I use it for this. Obviously this is brown packaging paper, so when I've got to have it rolled out to cut some, I use the little doorstop just to keep it in place. Hand moisturizer, because working with all this paper makes your hands very dry. Wide masking tape, which is for papers that are getting a bit ripped in the middle and just using that to reinforce them. This little plant pot has a mix of twine and tags, so The big tags I can't reach are made, and these go in certain orders and I personalise them. And then there's the itty bitty baby tags which go in certain other orders and I personalise them. And yeah, I've got the big roll of packaging paper there. So that's like my main work area, which now looks messy now that I've been through it, but generally keep it quite tidy. And then last up, I've got these two shelving units. I don't know what brand or anything they are. I bought them on Amazon. I will try and link them if you are interested. Just down there, those two bags are full of memorabilia and stuff from my trip to Brussels and Planacon Europe, and it's all from that, and I want to make like a junk journal album thing from that, but it's just living there until I find the time to do that. On these bottom shelves I have various pretty papers and stuff that go in journals. Most of this stuff is for personal use because because of angel policies and whatnot, I can only use it for personal use. I can't sell stuff that's got that in, but it's just there for my use. The other one isn't angel policy stuff, so I've got like pretty writing paper that can go in journals and pretty cards and just all sorts of stuff like that. Up on the next shelf, these are all writing sets from the range, and then one just like quite nice paper pad there, again all junk journaling purposes. A plant pot full of fussy edge scissors, different edges. They look quite pretty when you have some certain pages in journals with those edges. This is, well, these are some enormous doilies, which again, journal purposes. This is just overflow from that cupboard of books to hack up and stuff. I've got most of like the botanical ones that I have left there, and then just some other ones which have been part deconstructed. Second set of shelves here, these trays, again, they're from the range. One has patterned vellum in, it's all mostly floral patterns, so pretty. And then this has the other vellum in that go in my creative journals. So I've got 90 GSM vellum and 110 GSM vellum in there. I've got slightly more speciality papers here, so like some retro graph paper, parchment paper, cartridge paper, watercolor paper, some canvas here, lots of pretty stuff there. Tea dyed paper, I really need to do some more, and I have the oven trays I use for tea dyeing paper, because if they live in the kitchen then people will use them for cooking things, and I want to keep them nice and clean for doing paper on. Next level up is pretty much all fabric. This is all scraps of ribbon. Then we've got like lots of little handkerchiefs and cute little things that I use. Again, it's all, I don't need to keep repeating myself. It's all used in journals, either junk journals or creative journals. It's lace and doilies and burlap in this one, and these are all kind of quite large scraps. I've put this one on the top because it's Christmassy to remind myself to use it very soon. Up here you can see I've got all sorts of solutions of storage, like this is just an old box that I've cut to make it into a little tray, so that has craft paper. This is like from the kitchenware section of Home Bargains, and this has mulberry paper in. Then I have a ream of Conqueror laid vellum. This little tray has lots of trim and ribbons. And finally up the top we have really big large pieces of fabric. I usually when I do my large like hardback junk journals, the inside are usually sort of lined with material. There's some, what's that called? Upholstery thread there. Someone was getting rid. I thought I could use it for ribbon, like for binding things, and just put scraps in it in kits and stuff. It's a mess at the moment, but it's very pretty when it's properly done. This is a little tub of bicarbonate of soda or baking soda, and if you've got a book, a vintage book or something, which is smelling particularly musty, if you get a larger container, open a thing of bicarb, put the book and the bicarb in there for about a week, it gets rid of the musty smell, so I just have that on hand. And then this thing here has all the current journals that I have listed on Etsy. I have no big ones at the moment, they are all sold out, but these are all the pre-made ones I have currently. And down the side here I just have some bags for like I can grab if I'm going shopping or whatever. And then very, very boring, I have some folders which are like for taxes and business receipts and glorious interesting things like that. And with that very boring ending, my studio tour is complete. Oh, I forgot to say, these things on the wall up here, these are all, I'll get a bit closer. So just so I don't have to look it up every time, it has what my kits contain. So if I'm packing one, I can just go, right, I'm packing a large kit, this is what I need to put in it. Creative journals, how many pieces of each kind of paper I need to use, and then all the different traveler's notebook sizes, just so you know it's handy for me to look at. It's right there, as I said, so I don't have to look it up every time. So yes, okay, now I am really finished. That is my studio tour. I hope you like it. I hope maybe you got some storage solution ideas or something. As I said, it's a mishmash. We've got some IKEA furniture, some antique furniture. We're all over the place, but that's what I like. Okay then, so that was my studio tour. I hope for all of those of you, why can't I make sentences? For those of you who requested it, you enjoyed it, wasn't too much of a disappointment. And yeah, that's about it. So that's it for this week's studio vlog. Next week's one will be like 2 weeks worth of what I've gotten up to. Of course, do let me know if you have any questions or anything. I will try and link things that I have mentioned, but obviously there's all sorts of bits and bobs around this room, so I will definitely 100% forget to link something, so just ask. Yes? Hello? My phone rang again and I forgot what I was saying. I think I was pretty much just saying thanks for watching and goodbye. So yeah, that's what I mean to say. Thanks for watching and goodbye.